Propel Fitness Water. With Gatorade electrolytes, zero sugar, and vitamins, Propel hydrates better than water to help you get the most out of your workout and get back to your best self. What propels you? Propel with Gatorade electrolytes.
This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Shave ice by the beach, a trip to the state fair, and a throwback flick at the local drive-in. They're more than just items to check off the summer bucket list. They're also opportunities to earn 2% daily cash back when you use your Apple Card with Apple Pay. Apply for Apple Card now and use in minutes with Apple Pay. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card is issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
From the Fifth Quarter Studios in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to Coach Unplugged. And now,
hey, coaches, welcome to Coach Unplugged. I'm so excited you decided to join us. Before we jump into today's podcast, I'd like a big shout out to our sponsors. First of all, Game Changer. They are, I think, one of the number one streaming things that, don't miss out. It's an auto stream. You can set it up. You can use it for practice. It keeps real-time scores. It captures all the highlights you'll ever need. So go over and check it out at gc.com/coaching youth hoops. Also, go over and check out Dr. Dish, the number one shooting machine on the market. Can't wait to get back into the gym, get the boys on the shooting machine. Mention Coach Collins and Coach Unplugged, and they'll take really good care of you. And last but not least, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. We're weeks away from the launch. I will get more specific and talk about that kind of stuff as we get a little bit closer, what's coming with that. But if you're thinking if you want to get in, you're thinking you want to get in a low monthly price, I would do it ASAP. I'm just telling you. All right, let's head off to the podcast.
For those of you who don't know, I'm Jerry Krause, and from Gonzaga University. I want to talk to you today about fundamentals. Fundamentals of coaching and fundamentals of playing the game. And I think this focus on fundamentals is one of the keys. One of my mentors was John Wooden, who arguably is the greatest coach of all time in basketball. He said this about fundamental skills of basketball. The proper and quick execution of the fundamentals is the key to success. Now, when anybody tells me something about a key to success, I listen. And I love what these players are doing right now because they're writing things down. And proper and quick execution of the fundamentals is the key to basketball success. But it's really the key to life success too. Proper and quick. Now, those two words are pretty critical. One of my former assistants is a guy named Dan Hayes at Oklahoma Christian University. And he says this about fundamentals and about coaching. Focus on the little things. Focus on the little things, coaches and players. If you focus on the little things, you get better and better, little by little. You focus on the little things, you get better and better, little by little. The key to life and coaching is learning. If you don't focus on the little things to learn, that's how it takes place. It doesn't take place in this, I wake up and all of a sudden I'm a great coach or I'm a great player. It's a long, slow process. And today's coaches and players all think that this is a quick hit. It's a quick hitter. It's not a quick hitter. It's a long, slow process. So let's focus on those little things. Proper and quick execution of the fundamentals. You got to do things right first. You got to do things right. That's properly. When your coaches talk to you about little details and you think, oh, that doesn't make that much difference. It does make a lot of difference. It's the key. You've got to do it right first. If you don't do it right first, you'll never do it right. And then secondly, quick. Why did John Wooden emphasize those two words? Those little things, proper execution and quick execution. Let's talk about the quick part. The races in life don't go to the fastest people. They go to the quickest people. The people who know how to be quick at the right time. Being quick at the right time. Basketball is a game of balance and quickness. Basketball is a game of balance and quickness. If you don't write those words down and tell them to your players over and over and over again, balance means playing under control. Balance means being under control with your life and your play. So you operate at top speed under control, but you have to have team balance, you have to have individual balance, you have to have physical balance, you have to have offensive balance, defensive balance, 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 over and over again. It's a coaching mantra. Quickness. Being quick at the right time. We have at Gonzaga University, where I'm coaching now, I've been coaching over 50 years. We had John Stockton, Hall of Fame player. I could put him out here in a race up and down the court, and some of you would beat him. You would beat him. He's not the fastest guy in the world. But I'll tell you, he has trained his mind and body to be quick. And his key to success was quickness at the right time. I coached at a school that was near Gonzaga before I went to Gonzaga. And we played Gonzaga one of the last years. It was the last year that John was a college player. And I knew how quick he was at the right time. And one of the things he was very good at is stealing. He holds the all-time NBA record in steals. A guy that is not that fast. So I drilled my players on passing and catching properly. You cannot be lazy with the ball. Every pass has to be on time and on target. We talk to our players all the time in passing. On time, on target. Little things. On time, on target. Every pass. So we focused on that. Played Gonzaga. John Stockton had 8 steals in that game. 8 steals, and we prepared for it. 8 steals. Proper and quick execution of the fundamentals. Because what you try to do as a basketball player is become balanced and quick. Balanced and quick. It's a constant development battle to try to get more balance in your game, more quickness in your game. Coaches, those are the 2 words that you got to live by. Now, I said the key to coaching, I believe it's learning, because I think I keep a reminder on my wrist all the time, and I've been in this game longer than anybody's been here, trying to develop my ability to coach and teach. And it says, never stop learning, right on my wrist. Never stop learning. Why is that so important? Because if you don't keep learning, you don't keep improving as a basketball player and a coach, and you will not enjoy the ride. Learning is the key. We have the biggest dropout rate in youth basketball we have ever had. Kids are voluntarily dropping out of the sport. Why? Well, we did national surveys to find out why kids are dropping out of not only basketball but all sports. And they say two things. Number one, it's no fun. It's not fun. You gotta have fun. This is a sport. You should have fun. I call that laughing fun. You gotta bring that to your game. You gotta have fun. You know, one of my former players, Chris knows real well, is Don Meyer, who's given a lot of clinics up in this area. Now, Don Meyer couldn't be considered a fun guy, but he is a fun guy. You're around him, and his players have fun. I don't care what your personality is, but you got to bring some fun to the game. However you do it, doesn't make any difference, whether it's through the game's approach or whether it's through your coaching style or whether it's through your telling jokes or whatever it is. Kids want to have fun. The second reason kids are dropping out of basketball at record rates in this country is they say that they're not learning anything. Poor coaching. They put it right on us. Poor coaching. Now that tells us something. I believe the key is learning. The first part that every player has to get is it has to be laughing fun. You got to enjoy it. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, pretty soon you stop it. But the second part, the deeper part of coaching and learning is everyone is naturally curious. Everyone is naturally curious. If you're learning, it's fun. Anybody who is learning, any of these players, I can pick them out as I work with them in a little while, but as I see the ones that are improving from last year to this year, from last week to this week, they like it. If you're learning and you're growing, you know you're getting better, you're going to like it. So I believe coaching, from our standpoint, they got to have laughing fun and they got to have learning fun. They got to learn. So that means for us as coaches, your goal has to be what John Wooden told us years and years ago. Every adult in this world should aspire to become a master teacher. Should aspire to become a master teacher. And this is not a good story in coaching today. I've got a lot of my young coaches that I'm mentoring now, and I tell, okay, what are you majoring in? You want to be a coach, right? What are you majoring in? Oh, I'm majoring in business, because I got to have a backup plan. Oh, what's your primary plan? I don't care about your backup plan. How the hell are you going to coach? You're working on your backup plan, but you don't have a primary plan. So then the second one they do, they major in sport management. If you're going to be a coach, you're going to be a sport manager, huh? That'll really help you be a coach. No, the heart of coaching is aspiring to become a master teacher. The best players become a master teacher to each other. The best teams, we had the best team at Gonzaga University in the history of our school this year. 32-3. They taught each other a lot. They liked each other. They taught each other. They treated each other with respect. And we had great team chemistry. What a surprise. They were teaching each other. And our coaching staff generally is all in that mold, aspiring to become a master teacher. Now, what do you teach? Well, the most important thing you teach are the fundamental skills of basketball. Fundamentals. Fundamentals, fundamentals. But you also need to teach life lessons or team lessons. Team lessons. Now, we had a tragedy, national tragedy this week. Another one in Boston. What does that come from? The lack of a life lesson And one I use for years and years in coaching, what I like, is build a program around respect. I want you to, in our program this year, to have and grow in self-respect. You ought to feel better about yourself at the end of the next year than you do now. That's part of our job as you as players, me as a coach, is to help you develop self-respect. And then secondly, you got to develop respect for others. Unless you respect everyone on your team and treat them with respect, you're not going to have a good team. You got to build, your job is to build your own self-respect. That's your job. Build your confidence, develop and learn and learn and learn until you grow as a person, on and off the court. And then you got to help the team develop respect for each other. You got to treat each other with respect, and you got to build that up. Do you think that those terrorists in Boston have respect? They don't have respect for themselves, obviously, because they've just thrown their life away. They don't have respect for others because they showed that by killing innocent people, children and bystanders that were just at a sporting event. That's a life lesson. That's a fundamental of coaching. That's a fundamental of playing that we're not getting. So we've got to focus on those two things. The fundamentals of basketball, the fundamentals of coaching. All right, never stop learning. Now, let's talk a little bit. I gave you a handout, coaches, that we're going to kind of follow in broad strokes, but the rationale why this is so important. So let's talk about the fundamentals of basketball just a little bit as we start. Why is it important? When you play for a coach, what you want to delve into as players is why everything. Why? Why are we doing this? What's the purpose behind that little detail that coach is giving you? Why do you think it's important for me to have good footwork when I'm shooting? Because good footwork is the most important part of shooting. Why? Why is it the most important part of shooting? Why do you think it is? Balance. It gives you balance. Gives you balance. Unless you have balance in shooting, can't be a good shooter. Can't be a good shooter. Okay, so you have balance. Footwork gives you balance. So the most important thing is footwork in shooting. That's a good example of that, of why that's important. Why is it important in the game of basketball? John Wooden gave us that reason. I already gave you that. Because proper and quick execution of the fundamentals is the key to basketball success. But I'll give you another reason that I believe. I believe, coaches, all of us think we've got control of the game. You think we're all power hungry and we have to control the game. Well, that's probably pretty true. We have a lot of that, in coaching. But I believe that almost 80%, I believe 75 to 80% of basketball playing is unplanned activity. 75 to 80% of basketball is unplanned activity. It isn't what coaches draw up all these plays, offensively and defensively. It's what happens during a basketball game. Now, how do you structure yourself for success in unplanned activity? You have to have fundamentals. If you don't have good basketball fundamentals, you can't be successful in any game that has unplanned activity. Basketball especially is a continuous motion game, up and down, offense and defense. You don't just stay on defense. You're not a football player that I'm a defensive specialist. I can really learn how to play defense. No, basketball, you got to play everything. And you got to play everything all the time in constant motion. And I can't stop you and say, oh, stop. You got to focus on this right now. No, the game goes on. Coaches can't control it as much as they think. You got to control it yourself. How do you do it? As a player and as a coach, unless you focus on fundamentals, you're not going to have long-term success at all. So, Proper and quick execution of the fundamentals, and prepare them for unplanned activity. Prepare them for unplanned activity. And again, Wooden says it's got to be a part of every practice and every game. If I put, these players went out and practiced shooting a little bit ago. They were warming up, but practicing shooting. It was kind of interesting watching that most players don't have a fundamental approach to teaching themselves shooting all the time.